probably one of my favourite spots. This was where I did my first wild camp a few years ago. Not my first since I started the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Thank you very much for your sub and your support and your following. Tonight we're just doing a simple little small fire. Loads and loads of firewood around here, and it's all quite dry. It's been wet, it's been really wet, but it's not rained today, and it's been fairly dry yesterday. So we've got a pretty sheltered little spot for the tent. We've got the Scarp One tonight, reliable, trusty. You can see, you can probably hear some of the wind. There's been sort of 15-20 mile an hour this afternoon, and we're quite high up in the back of the woods, and we're open this way, so the wind doesn't hit the fly down. Tonight we're cooking on, as I said, a little fire, and we've got my little grill set that I got off Amazon. I'll talk you through that, screw it all together. I just put it over the fire, really simple. I wanted to show you also a new saw that I got. So in terms of sort of transport, that's your cooker, and that's your saw, and both alloy, both lightweight. So I'll talk you through the saw. It's like an open bow saw, and apologies for the wind if the wind is whistling by. We've got the Mora Richard Outdoors Inex on the belt. We've got some inner tube rubber on that as well. Really good for firelighting, getting repair stuff. Got a couple of bands of an old inner tube on that, which is handy. I'm just about to clip it onto my belt. I tend to put it on the belt that way as opposed to this way. And as well as that, we've got the Haltifor's little, I think it's a forest axe. We're not having a big fire, we're just going to be cooking some venison, burgers, with some rice, fairly simple but tasty on the fire. So we made good time, it's not even 5. I'm going to put the tent up in the wind, gather some firewood, get a really small, clear a space, get a really small little fire. There'll be no trace left tomorrow morning. In for a nice night in the woods. So thank you for joining us both. She loves it up here in the woods, in the fresh air, all the smells and the scents. A little rope swing up in this bit, but I don't think it's been used much. It's nice and clean. Sometimes there's fires here. It's not been used all summer, so. Right, I'm going to crack on, I'll get you back in a minute. Settled there. Hopefully you're not getting too much wind distortion, it's pretty gusty, but t-shirt on still. It's got a little bit chillier the last couple of days. So we're kind of headed toward the end of August into September. So I'm looking forward to some cold weather camping, to be honest with you. It's been a good summer, it's been quick, but at the same time it's been quite long. There's been super hot days, some of the hottest days on record here in Scotland, some dry, great summer, but I think some of us are quite ready for the proper cold weather. So right, I'm going to get the tent up over here, get some wood, get you back in a sec. I'll give you a wee, so we've got a tiny little fire pit there, longer bits of wood that I could just kind of feed along with this. Bit of wind, the wind's calming down, there's a few kind of flies about. We're still at that sort of time of year. Tent situated there. There's a good bit of this is all since I sorry, I just dropped my glasses. This is all this was all kind of cut down flat when I first was coming up here. That's all, I haven't even been in there. I'll go in the winter. That's all kind of sort of birch trees, and so a lot of protection. You've seen the Scarp one by Tarp Tent, really robust 4-season tent. You get cross poles for snow, expensive, from America, but can't fault it. There's loads of space, it's really easy to put up, really easy to take down, really easy to dry. Porch is big enough, 2 porches, 2 access, 1 door on each side for double. Plenty of guy out points, you know, around 1, 2, on the 4 faces there's guy out points, which is great. Just did a wee simple kind of, you know, that guy and then this guy, and I can tighten it all up kind of later on, but they were quite sheltered in this little spot. So I'm going to, what time is it? Just about 5:15. Light wise, 9, back in 9 it's almost pitch dark. So it doesn't stay light for long in Scotland. We have a couple of months of long days, but already we're starting to get a bit darker. So I'm probably going to get the fire on, and I'll show you this saw. I'll chop up a bit of wood. I'm not sure if I'm going to need my axe. There's so much wood, and I'm just going to kind of keep them quite long and just feed them into the fire. It's just lazy man's fire. But I'll show you my saw, because there's a couple of longer bits I'm going to need to saw down. Really lightweight. A screw on each end. I won't give you too much of a close up. So, one wee rod. I've only used it a couple of times, so bear with me. It's not. So, one rod, threads on both ends. Blade, and that's it. Just loosen that a wee bit, just drop that. Just get my leather gloves on. So that's, now I've used it with the blade, it's almost like a hacksaw blade, and it's just not the best for cutting wood. Probably comes from China, really simple, very lightweight. So I'll cut a bit of wood and I'll show you. It's that I'm going to try and get a bow saw blade and modify it with a couple of pins so it becomes a standard, bit more serrated bow saw. It's almost better to do a kind of pull cut. So that's cutting on the pull. Normally, wood saw like a bow saw, you'd cut on the push. So that's me kind of cut and pull. Not bad. Just to show you this this little grill set. I won't fit. So again, you know, in terms of, that's one side, that's the other side, and just screw stainless steel rods, really easy to clean. Just thread them both together, and it's got little legs. So the little legs screw in here. this is like, so both really kind of compact if you're trying to save a bit of space. You know, these are ideal. And again, I'm not, you know, sort of massively kind of engineering wise, I would describe myself as. So I've used this a couple of times already. You can see a lot of these things just become sort of second nature once you've used them a couple of times. Ground's wet here, it's been raining pretty heavy, and I'm just going to have a very small, manageable, controlled fire. So in the time that it's taken me to talk you through it, and then just tighten it up both ends, and that just slots all the slots in. Job done. Not expensive on eBay, or not as Amazon I think it was. I'd try and put a link in, but just time making these videos, just had not much time. I'm doing an open university qualification just now. Just both tighten up really tight, and that's it, rigid. Stainless steel. Two little venison steak burgers. Boom boom. Nice bowl of rice. Yum. Cut. Everything's a bit sort of double bagged for rainy winter. We've got a couple of nice venison burgers. Apologies to any vegetarians watching. And these are just going to get served on a bed of nice rice. Just going to get it on as well. I'll lift it over the heat in a minute. Very little fat venison. It's very lean meat. Grill, you can raise it on a couple of stones or lower it. But look how small that fire is. Like, you know, you're just putting in just enough to get a good bit of coal an ember, so, and I'll put the water on the side of that. All you need is about sort of 40 or 50 mil in the pot for the rice. So you're not really leaving any sort of big monstrous hole scar. I mean, I make a pile like this, but I don't even think I'm going to keep the fire going after dinner. There was a bit we hammocked on the other side of the wood, but we used to kind of access it this way, and it's absolutely impossible now. There's a really nice little spot at the top of the wood here, so I might go for a wee explore after tea, walk up that way and go round. Don't know, it's quite bad for ticks up here. I've got my jeans on, my boots, so I should be okay. And I'll just carry Audrey. Looking forward to tea, the sunshine coming through. Man, this is what we're talking about. Stunning. And that gets enough heat off the side. That is butter, salt, pepper. We're getting all posh having starters. That's how you do it. Their nose going across there. She's got some nice chicken. So that's going to, here she comes, some nice separate. That's just going to go in there. Mix it with the rice. Flavour it all up. Oh, that looks nice. And then we're on to can plates nowadays. And rice. Well, little bits is we done. That's the fire done. As you can see, when it's that dry, it doesn't take much to cook a nice little dinner. Leaving a tiny little patch of ash, but I'll tidy that up tomorrow. So, venison and rice, really nice. If you're new to the channel, I kind of ages ago I talked a little bit about my relationship with alcohol and how it was really quite destructive and quite negative. Kind of regularly not really finding a switch off button, wanting to kind of go to extreme, and so that kind of like went on for years and years and years, and then one thing led to another, and eventually it's kind of like, right, I'm going to knock on the head. April never really drunk much, and so 8 or 9 years since I've last had alcohol. I was telling one of my new work colleagues about it, kind of basically saying, look, I have no intention, it's starting to rain, it's quite heavy, no intention of ever drinking again. So here's to total abstinence. No, we need to be talking much more about the damage that alcohol does, you know, and the stigma around having an issue with alcohol. massive. And if you think of our country in Scotland, our relationship with alcohol, honestly, generations and generations, I would say every single family has had alcoholism in it somewhere. Maybe not. I've got a couple of mates. I don't know. Um, but the majority, I think, of families will have had some sort of alcoholism. But yet we struggle to understand it, talk about it, and support people and not judge people. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And that whole sort of prevention, how are we supporting our young people? How are we helping to develop them? How are we creating grounded, confident young people that are resilient and confident, that don't need to rely on substances of any sort? That's the question. That is the big question. So nice to take a wee walk out of camp. I mean, button it up. Hopefully no one's passing. You'd be really unlucky if somebody decided to sort of rob your tent. There must be some sort of 21st or 50th or in a farm. They've got a kind of big PA. Normally it's these kind of sort of things are settled down by later on. I've got my earplugs as well, so. But it's nice to see this all overgrown again, because I really fancied creating a little bit of a kind of a patch, a clear patch somewhere in the middle of that you could, because you're so elevated, you're getting this kind of evening sun, which is really nice. But where I am in the woods, you're a little bit hidden and a bit sunken. So quite a lot of ticks up here. It's definitely deer country. Oh, I can hear Olivia Newton-John, R.I.P. She passed away just a few days ago. Really sad. Not old. Well, I mean 70, but nowadays that's not old. Breast cancer. Bless her. Thoughts go out to her and her family, and must be some sort of. It's good to explore this. You just do a wee sort of loop. Nice. That vitamin C and energy. A wee bit, but morning all. That's about 7:45. Woke up a couple of times during the night. She got a bit of a fright. I don't know if there was a deer or something. So she went a bit ballistic. It was windy. There was quite a few trees kind of groaning and moaning. But woke up and just had a nice doze. It's been raining, and I'm just going to get the stove on, get a wee coffee, a wee chocolate bar, and have a coffee in here. I think it's still drizzling outside, so not a bad night. Really nice and chilled around the fire last night. Had a nice wee walk, and I don't know if my pillow's got a hole in it. I've got that wee Trichology block pillow. It's gone down a couple of times, so I'm not sure. I'll need to check that. But warm, comfy. She's There's my girl. There's my baby. A little coffee bag, like a tea bag that goes in your boiling water. A little biscuity, chocolatey bar. A little sweet apple. A little orange. I'm going to climb back into my sleeping bag with a nice coffee. And just enjoy some of the wind and the rain and before we need to get moving. So, nice. Right guys, that's the rain starting to chuck it down again. Managed to get, so leaving absolutely no trace. That was where the little fire was last night. Nothing going on, little dry patch up here. This was the noisy trees kind of in the wind, because in the last storm they'd sort of all stable but quite noisy, so I think the next time I'm up here I might pitch down this bit a little bit, or even over here, which I don't normally do. She's fine, just packed up. It's quite windy, the rain's coming over, not far down the road. I need to hang up all the tent, never leave anything wet, so luckily we've got a garage that we can sort of hang stuff up over. So yeah, I'll just sign off there. Really nice night, not too far in the woods. It was windy like this last night, so got a reasonable sleep. And it was weird, I thought somebody was here with a torch, but I think it was probably the moonlight, because she went ballistic when I saw this really bright light. But I think actually there might have been a bit of a full moon last night, so yeah, a wee bit sort of, a little bit freaked out, but I didn't even get up. You know, if somebody's interested, they'll, you know what I mean, you'll just deal with it. So you're really pretty safe the majority of the time, you know. So listen, from my favourite spot in the wind and the rain, up at the big beech tree, me and Audrey are signing out until the next time. As it starts getting colder, we'll hopefully get a bit more out. We'll get the fire tent out, we'll get back up onto the reservoir, we'll get back up onto the other hill, because the flies are starting to ease up a little bit. So listen, hope everyone's taking care out there. Thanks again for everyone's support. Leave a little comment, how did you find, what do you want to see more of, etc. Alright, listen, before we're blowing down the hill, I'll sign off. Take care.
Bye.